Hello, and a massive welcome to all you Kent Business College apprentices. Today we are diving deep into the wild and wonderful world of marketing strategy. You know, a great marketer is kind of like someone with a whole wardrobe full of hats, right? They're ready to switch roles at a moment's notice. So in this explainer, we're going to try on some of those hats and figure out what it really takes to drive business growth. Let's get started.
Okay, so let's just start with the biggest question of all. When I say the word marketing, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? Come on, be honest. For a lot of folks, it's probably annoying ads, maybe some sales calls, or, I don't know, glossy brochures. But is that really it?
Not even close. And this is where it gets really interesting. While most people only see the flashy stuff on the surface, the ads and the sales pitches, the real work, the important work of marketing, is happening way deeper inside the business. It's about understanding human psychology. It's about crafting the entire business strategy, and it is absolutely about being the engine that drives growth. It's way less about shouting and way more about listening and understanding.
So, to get our heads around all this, here's our game plan. First, we're going to prove once and for all that marketing is so much more than just ads. Then, we'll try on the foundational customer-first hats. After that, we'll see how marketing creates real value and drives change. Then we'll put on the growth hacker's hat to look at strategy. And finally, we'll talk about how it's your turn to lead.
Okay, let's get into our first and honestly our most important set of hats. If you remember one thing from today, let it be this. In modern business, everything, and I mean everything, begins and ends with the customer. If you don't nail this part, nothing else you do will matter. These hats are the absolute foundation.
First up, I want you to put on your philosopher's hat. Now, this isn't just about a marketing department. This is a whole company mindset. A truly marketing-focused business doesn't just have a marketing team. The entire company is a marketing team. Every single person, from the CEO down to the person packing boxes, thinks about the customer first. See, it's not just a function, it's baked into the company's DNA.
And if you want a perfect example of this in action, just think about Apple. They are the absolute masters of this philosophy. They don't just sell you a phone, they sell you an entire experience. They obsess over every tiny detail, from the satisfying click of a button to the feeling you get when you unbox a new product. They build an empire not by asking what can we make, but by asking what will people absolutely love. That's the philosophy in action.
Next, swap that hat for the matchmaker's hat. At its heart, marketing is just about a fair trade. I mean, think about it. Way back before money, we just bartered, right? I'll give you 3 of my chickens for 1 of your goats. Well, marketing is just the really sophisticated version of that. It's all about creating an exchange where the customer feels like they got incredible value and the company makes a profit. A perfect match.
And for this section, let's put on the detective's hat. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to become a master investigator of human needs. You're not just selling a product, you are solving a problem for someone. And when you truly understand and satisfy a customer's needs, you don't just get a one-time sale. You get a loyal fan, a true brand ambassador who will go out and tell all their friends about you.
Okay, let's build on that. So we understand our customers. Now what? How do we actually create something that they're going to find valuable? And maybe even more important, how do we help the entire business evolve? This, my friends, is where marketing gets really, really powerful.
It's time for the alchemist's hat. Now, according to legend, an alchemist could turn worthless lead into pure gold. Well, a great marketer does something kind of similar. They take a perfectly good product or service and they add layers of value around it. Things like convenience, information, status, to transform it from something people might buy into something they feel like they have to have. And here is some quick-fire examples of that alchemy in action. A supermarket doesn't just sell you ingredients, it gives you recipe ideas, selling you the idea of a delicious meal. Argos doesn't just sell you stuff, it sells you your time back with click and collect. Gucci isn't just selling a handbag, it's selling you status. And Apple's iBeacon isn't just a random ad, it's a personalized offer that pops up right when you might need it. See? It's always about adding that extra valuable layer. Now for one of my personal favorites, the Rebel's hat. Look, the world changes incredibly fast. New tech, new customer behaviors, new trends. A lazy marketer just follows those changes, but a great marketer, a rebel, anticipates them and helps drag the entire company into the future. They are the catalyst for change, the early warning system that keeps a business from becoming irrelevant. I mean, just think about self-service checkouts. Tesco saw that customers were starting to value speed and independence more and more. Instead of fighting it, their marketing and strategy teams leaned right into it, completely changing the in-store experience to match what people actually wanted. That is marketing driving real, visible change.
All right, let's put on our most strategic hat yet. This is the big one. We've figured out the customer, we've created value, so now what? How do we actually grow? How do we take this business to the next level?
You ready for the business growth cheat code? There's a tool for this, and it's called the Ansoff Matrix. Now, I know, Matrix sounds super boring and academic, but trust me, this is one of the most powerful yet simple frameworks you will ever learn. Think of it as a treasure map with 4 clear paths to growing a company.
So here it is, the Ansoff Matrix. At first glance, it's just a simple 4-box grid. But its genius is in the 2 simple questions it forces you to ask. On the side, you have your markets. Are we going after our existing customers or finding brand new ones? And across the top, you have your products. Are we sticking with what we sell now, or are we creating something totally new? Where your answers meet, well, that gives you 4 very different strategies for growth.
So, those 2 questions lead us to these 4 core strategies. We can either dig deeper with what we already have, build something new for our existing fans, find new fans for our current products, or we can take a huge leap into the unknown. Let's break down each one with a real-world example.
First up, market penetration. This is the safest move on the board. You're simply trying to sell more of what you already make to the people who already buy it. Just think of literally any Coca-Cola ad you've ever seen. They're not really trying to find new drinkers. They're just reminding their millions of current customers to go grab another Coke. It's low risk, steady growth.
Next, you've got product development. Here, the risk goes up just a notch because you're inventing something new. But the key is you're creating it for customers who already know and trust you. Dyson is a fantastic example. They built this huge, loyal following with their vacuums, and then they used that trust and their tech skills to create hair dryers for that same audience. Then there's market development. The risk creeps up again. Here, you take your tried and true product and you find a completely new group of people to sell it to. You're heading into unfamiliar territory. Starbucks did this brilliantly. They perfected their coffee shop model in the US and then took that exact same model and opened up in cities all over the world.
And finally, the riskiest, most ambitious move of all, diversification. This is like the final boss of growth strategy. You're creating new products for entirely new markets. It is a huge leap. And a mind-blowing example is Samsung. We all know them for phones and TVs, right? But they also have massive divisions in completely unrelated industries, like shipbuilding. Yeah, high risk, but the potential rewards are absolutely colossal.
So, we have journeyed through all these different roles and strategies of a modern marketer. And if there's one big takeaway, it's that marketing isn't some small, isolated department. It is the strategic, beating heart of a successful business. And now, all of those hats, they're yours.
You now have a complete toolkit at your disposal. You can be the philosopher, setting that customer-first vision. You can be the matchmaker, creating a fair exchange of value. The detective, uncovering what people really need. The alchemist, making products irresistible. The rebel, driving change. And of course, the growth hacker, plotting the master plan for expansion. You've got the strategies, you've got the mindset to make a huge impact. You understand that this is about so much more than just making ads. So my final question for you is a simple one. As you step into your roles and you start looking at the challenges ahead, which hat are you going to wear first?